9 signs a woman wants to sleep with you. It can be quite an ask to discern signs she wants to sleep with you during a date. But not all of these signs will be shown during the throes of a romantic outing. The following signs should be easier to spot. Take a moment to consider if she's ever displayed any of these signs before. Number 1. She texts you a few of her outfit choices. Allowing someone else to dress you puts them in the power position. If she snaps you a few pics of her outfits prior to a date, she's trying to do one of two things. Either she's riling you up or trying to please you. Soliciting your opinion on her looks means she wants to do everything within her ability to appear more attractive. Both reasons come from a position to appear more attractive. The difference is that if she riles you up, purposing to get the juice flowing to your nether regions, it means she's a hunter. She could also send you photos of her outfits because she's unsure of her looks and is being influenced by both her insecurity and desire to woo you. You should be able to understand which motive triggered the response within minutes of meeting up. If she appears vivacious and flirty, it means she might be the aggressor. If she's a bit laid back and nervous, you may need to pursue her a bit more if you want sex to be in the cards. Women will only relinquish their power if they trust the recipient of said power. Asking you for approval or to pick out her clothing means she trusts you to use that power wisely. Number 2. The roommate situation. Always be on the lookout for sensitive or misplaced information that's offered up freely. You may find it odd that she randomly brought up that her roommate won't be home. It's not odd, it just means she wants you sexually. There's literally no other reason she'd let you know Stacy's visiting her parents this weekend. And no, it's not because she can finally build a blanket fort in the living room. Be on the lookout for this information. If it's common knowledge that you two will get it on, she may accompany this information with a wink emoji or other signal that she clearly wants you to come over. If you two haven't reached the point where sex is expected, she may camouflage this information. Perhaps she'll say, "Oh, it's so nice finally having the place to myself. My roommate has been driving me crazy." It's easy to miss or misread the intent behind this information. But be aware that this is something she'd say before a date. In the midst of an in-person conversation, such information could organically pop up and sincerely not be code for, "Come over so we can canoodle." If sent over the phone, this message isn't an unconscious stream of thought outburst, but rather a calculated message with hidden intentions. She may also politely inquire as to your roommate situation. If you can't discern whether this is a signal to have sex, jokingly reply that the house is all yours so that you two can play as much Scrabble, complete as many jigsaw puzzles, or engage in whatever other dorky and non-sex related activity. This response should heat up the tension and might even elicit a more forward response from her. If the date is going well, consider turning your shared desire to play Jenga at your house a running joke. Continuing to joke about it will make it easier to ask her to come over at the close of the date. Number 3. She asks you how far away the location is from her/your place. This one can be tricky to interpret. It's possible she honestly might want to know how long it'll take her to get from her home to the date location. Though we can glean her intent by thinking back to prior dates. Has she ever asked how far away the date spot is from her place before? If she's asking now because she's never heard of the place or has a hunch that it's quite far from her home? If the answers to the prior questions are both no, then she might want to bring you to her pad. It's far easier to understand her intent if she's asking how far away your home is from the date spot. Should she ask this, give pause. Why in the world would she care? If you want to pry just a bit more info out of her and are feeling ballsy, text her, "No worries, I can practically carry you to my place from the restaurant." Her response will reveal a bit more of her intent. Number 4. She asks you suggestive questions. How many people have you slept with? What's the craziest place you've ever had sex? Which position is your favorite? If she's willing to brazenly ask you sexually charged questions such as these, it can one of two things. The more unfortunate of the two is that she doesn't find you sexually attractive and is toying with you. She's had a bit to drink, knows there's no future with you, and feels like dangling the fantasy of having sex with her in front of your face. This isn't common unless she's a terrible human. The less unfortunate scenario is that she's had a bit to drink and wants you to fantasize about having sex with her as much as she's fantasizing about it with you. To heat things up a bit more, when pertinent, tell her that you can show her your favorite position if she'd like to. Say so in a casual, respectful, and playful way. Remember that you two are adults. You've been on at least a few dates and sex has crossed both of your minds. We're in a day and age when talking about sex before having it isn't that odd of a dinner subject. Number 5. She wants to finally meet your dog. Broaching the desire to meet your dog is the perfect segue to inviting her over. The only issue with this is that unless her coming over is preceded by some steamy kisses, you can't be 100% certain she came over to have sex. Maybe, just maybe, she just really wants to pet your four-legged dog. Ascertain what her intentions are by trying to heat things up prior to her coming over. If a kiss hasn't taken place before she stepped foot into your house, it's unlikely that she wants to have sex. Number 6. She asks if you live alone. As we've discussed, not everyone feels comfortable having sex with the knowledge that a roommate or two might be listening. She doesn't want any surprises if she comes over. Being ambushed by a roommate could completely throw off her mentality. Asking if you live alone is her way to prepare for what's to come. Number 7. She asks you to help her with something back at her place. There are 2 ways she could request this. She could ask you in a shy and diffident manner. If she does so, she isn't sure if you're really into her or not. She's resorted to asking you over because the signs you've been sending her aren't explicit enough. Or she could inject a bit of playfulness in her request. Her playful intonation when asking should be equivalent to a wink. Of course, she wants to have sex, but her flirting style doesn't allow her to explicitly ask for it. Number 8. She touches your thigh. The location of a touch carries with it a unique signal. A touch to the upper shoulder, for example, might be a friendly one or used to point you in one direction or the other. A touch down south, however, signals that she wants to explore as much as you're willing to let her. The further south, the longer the duration, and higher frequency of touch are all signals of intense attraction. While a touch to the thigh is a pretty unequivocal signal she wants you, if you miss the signal or refuse to reciprocate within a timely manner, she may stop putting herself out there and assume you're not into her. Generally speaking, this signal is pretty easy to perceive. However, alcohol may blur your discerning abilities. Number 9. She maintains physical contact while talking. Touching you has become so natural that she doesn't feel the need to even let you go while talking. Rather than pull away, she opts to not break the physical connection by maintaining physical touch. A smile accompanied by sustained touching is also a telltale sign a woman wants to sleep with you. Now all you've got to decide is whether or not to do it. If you see any of these signs, then don't be late, get set ready for boom. Best of luck.